Okay, this is my post-fight video on Joshua versus Ngannou. Pre-fight, I predicted that Joshua would win, obviously, and the reason for that was I thought Joshua would be tentative at the beginning. Essentially, Ngannou would gas. Joshua wouldn't take too many chances. He would break him down with a jab, and he'd start to throw his right hand in the second half of the fight when Ngannou would be tired, and he would then stop him. I wasn't sure if he would do a one punch knockout, um, or what, but I thought he would most likely just beat him on work rate as Ngannou gassed. But obviously it didn't go like that. Joshua knocked him down in the first round, and then knocked him out cold as well. One punch knockout in the second round. It was the most decisive one punch knockout since the rematch between Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman, where I don't know if you remember it, but Rahman's wearing those American shorts, American flag shorts, and Lewis just cracks him with a right hand, and he goes down completely unconscious, and he stays down. And there's that aerial shot of him wearing the US shorts. It was like reminded me a little bit of that, although I think it was bigger because I think Ngannou is tougher than Rahman. Now, I'll speak a little bit about the House of Cards of Tyson Fury in another video, but basically, Ngannou has been built up via the House of Cards of Tyson Fury, and essentially, he's not as good as the media and the public believe. He's not a boxer; he's an MMA world champion, but he doesn't have much of a background in boxing. So why would on earth would you put him in with Joshua? The way the fight went was Joshua was didn't do any of the jabs to the head that I thought he would do. That's the way he normally fights. Instead, he was doing these jabs to the midriff of Ngannou. And I was a bit nervous about that when I was watching. I was like, what's he doing? And that's not what he should be doing. I mean, he's not going to get too far with these midriff shots or midriff jabs, but it turned out that that whole thing of the midriff jab was just a ploy. He kept on doing these midriff jabs and feints as well, even some feints to do them. And Ngannou was just thought that that's what he's doing. He got used to these midriff jabs. And then stupidly, Ngannou, even though he was doing pretty well at the beginning of the fight, went southpaw. Joshua did one of his midriff jabs. Ngannou basically fell for it, but he immediately flung the right hand straight down the pipe of a now southpaw, who should be guarding with his right hand. Should be guarding with his which hand? I'm a southpaw. Yeah, so he should be guarding with his left hand for Joshua's right, and Ngannou, being a novice, he had his hand sort of, rather than here, he had it more like there. So just went straight through. And we found out then that Joshua could knock him out with one punch, and that was edge of range jab. It went through the target, obviously, but it went through only maybe 2 inches. So he fully extended, he rotated his arm right through the punch, but like that wasn't anything like as big as some of the jabs that Otto Wallen faced and ate. So I was surprised to see Ngannou go down. Anyway, he was a bit scrambled from that, but made it to the end of the round. In fact, there was a wobbly moment near the end of that first round. I think it was actually not as wobbly as I thought it was, but maybe because of like the camera angle. When you see them side by side, you can obviously see the distance apart they are, but when you see them front on, then from my view, I thought they were trading on the inside, a bit of Andy Ruiz hooks were going in, and I was a bit concerned about that because, yeah, first round you shouldn't be trying to trade at all with on the inside with Ngannou. Should be in and out, that sort of thing. Anyway, Ngannou survived the first round, and Joshua went unscathed first round. And then, oh, by the way, after the first knockdown, Ngannou didn't try to do southpaw again, which was a good idea. But it didn't matter because the next knockdown was even bigger than the first one. And Ngannou, first of all, was like falling for all of Joshua's feints. I think he was still a little bit scrambled, but he was very twitchy. He wasn't as fluid as he was in pre-knockdown. And I think as Ngannou to start to try something or start to feel a little bit better in the second round, Joshua stood on the edge of range, really didn't do too much, and Ngannou stood on the edge of range, didn't do too much, but really Joshua was just like hyper reactive state. So as Ngannou stepped in, planted his left foot, he brought his head in range. Ngannou was going to throw a left hook, I think, but he brought his head in range. But as he planted that left foot, Joshua was already throwing his right because he knew he was coming into his wheelhouse and absolutely went through him. So there's a few different footages of Ngannou, but he stumbled and fell backward awkwardly upright onto his backside, and his neck obviously was supporting his head, but it was, you see his eyes were gone, really glazed over. He was actually he was out right there. Such a strong man. That's why he didn't just fall flat on his back. I think if the corner had seen his look on his face, I think his own corner would have thrown the towel in at that point, because it shouldn't. It's really dangerous what happened. I mean, we think about it now that we've got a guy that's never really boxed in his life, complete novice, and he's in with the biggest active puncher in the heavyweight division, someone that's unified, been former unified world champion twice, Olympic gold medalist. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. He's got 25 knockouts now, so he's got 24 knockouts. And you're putting him in with the Joshua is crazy, and to then let him get that final knockout, that final punch, was just nuts. I don't know how much damage that's done to Ngannou. He was unconscious for at least a minute on the floor. I'm not sure how long, but it seemed like a long time. And yeah, so the way that second one, the referee obviously checked that Ngannou wanted to continue. He said he did. No one's tried to stop the fight. Joshua did his actual thing again. He just feinted to throw his left to the body. Ngannou fell for it straight away, and instead Joshua threw an overhand right. Well, it was a straight overhand right, a straight right really. It did go between his and the guard of Ngannou very easily. It was so straight, and he loaded up with it. He did put everything into it, because if you see the punch, it's perfect. The whole sequence is absolutely perfect by him. He looked like Derek Chisora when he knocked out Takan. Takan basically was knocked down. Derek Chisora just steamed in, timed one, and knocked him out. It was bigger than that, but it was the same sort of thing. And yeah, he threw his right. He actually planted his left perfectly when he threw the right, and he was just swiveling off his left knee and left foot to actually throw a combination left. But he was so in control of his balance that he actually pulled out of the combination left, because he knew that Ngannou's his head wasn't there anymore, because he was out. Ngannou fell backwards, totally unconscious. Not seen many people as unconscious as that. There's unconscious and there's as unconscious as that. I mentioned Hasim Rahman. There's a single punch knockouts. You find people going back through the years, especially the heavyweight division, who have been out on their feet with like the ropes holding them up and they are completely unconscious. Worse, well, not worse, that similar to that, but it's always multiple, not multiple punches that have rendered them that unconscious and they've been held up by the ropes. I'm trying to think about who I've seen. I mean, I would say that people that have left the ring have been as unconscious as that. Um, that Northern Irish dude that Lee Wood put through the ropes recently, about a year or 2 years ago. Yeah, I think he was as unconscious as that because he landed headfirst out of the ring. But can't really think of anyone else that one punch knockout was that unconscious. Wilder must have done it, I suppose. Maybe Dominic Brazil when he first round knockout, one right hand. Possibly Brazil might have been as unconscious as that. But yeah, unbelievable knockout. Fury, when you looked in the crowd, Fury's just in awe of that. Where he's actually in shock, I think. I don't think Fury will go anywhere near Joshua while he's in this form. No chance Fury beats Joshua at this point in time. I'll go into that in another video, but I think if I can't see, unless it's for an awful lot of money, I can't see Fury ever fighting Joshua because, yeah, I'd put heavy favourite on Joshua. I know style makes fights. We can say, oh, Fury danced rings round Klitschko, but this version of Fury gets hit a lot. I mean, his whole career he has been flawed multiple times. I mean, he got knocked down and almost beat by Wilder in 2 of the 3 fights, and when Wilder fought Parker, it was absolutely taken to school. But I just think Fury would just get hit by Joshua, and if Joshua lands on you, you're done. And it's not like Wilder, who is sort of like a career 15 stone guy, a very skinny guy, tall but skinny. Joshua is a career 17 and a half, 18 stone guy, 18 and a half, I think he was for this fight. So he's a heavy dude. He's very slim. He's just a couple of inches smaller than Fury, and I just think that I think he'll go through him, to be honest. I don't think he would. I don't actually think he'd be that competitive. I think it wouldn't even go half the fight. So yeah, that's my take on it. I'll do a video now on Fury and why he's so overrated.